Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Melani Gordon. You can call me Mel. I am here for our once monthly Thrive Outside series where we talk about adventuring in nature and the outdoors. We'll be here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So, wanted to share a few slides, check in, get oriented to the summer weeks. I don't know about you, but it's 100 degrees at my house today. And previously, I have my partners in crime, Jody and Peter, have also helped lead our Thrive Outside series. But today I'm running solo because they're out enjoying their summer adventures as kids are out of school and the weather is warm. So I'm going to share a few slides here just to kind of get us started and have a little bit of fun today. All right. So let me add my Google Slides for you all. Oops. Let's see here. Present, share screen, Thrive Outside. All right, there we go. And we'll turn that into a slideshow. All right, here we go. Again, Thrive Outside, amplifying your growth potential through outdoor coaching. I'm Mel Gordon. My other partners in crime, again, are Jody Ratke and Peter Gandolfo. You can see us here on the second Thursday of every month at 2 p.m. Pacific. Let's go ahead and jump right into what we'll be covering today. Really, how to make the most of your summer by getting outside and thriving. I don't know about you. I live in Reno, Nevada, up in the foothills. We are having one of our earliest heat waves I can recall, and it's 100 degrees. So I played a little hooky yesterday and was able to sneak away from my laptop up to Lake Tahoe and enjoy some paddleboarding. So I really want to talk about why connecting with nature is so important, but more specifically around the water. So most of you in this world, on this planet, and the northern hemisphere, I'm guessing, are enjoying our warm summer months. In the past, we've spent content around winter and hiking and rock climbing. And so we wanted to dive in this month around water. Next month, we'll have a guest around surfing. So make sure you tune in for that. Okay. All right. So let me do a little introduction, which we did. A lot of times when we have our guests here, we'll do a check-in and orient to where we are, which I'm happy to do, solo check-in. And it's Thursday, so the weekend's here. It's Father's Day on Sunday. I get to be with my father. Also, it's my husband's birthday, so that's super fun. I'll be spending my day with my two favorite men on the planet, and I feel so lucky for that. Again, we're going to go through summertime, water, why that's all important, a checkout, and what to look forward to. All right, that's me, Melani Gordon there, my fun little paddleboard picture, which was taken 1 week ago, just 1 week ago. You might see a brace on my left knee. I am an avid snowboarder and unfortunately had a bit of a snowboard accident in March and ruptured my ACL and tore my meniscus. So I am 2 months post-op. I will not be stand-up paddleboarding this summer like I normally am, so I'm trying to make the best of it. And we're just going to call it kayaking because obviously, if you're sitting down on your paddleboard, you can't call it stand-up paddleboarding. Okay, so as much as I can, I like to be on the water, in the water, around the water during the hot summer months here up in Reno and Tahoe. Again, I'm Melani Gordon. I'm a partner, coach, and consultant at Evolution. I built and sold my B2B SaaS company the previous decade. I'm an investment principal at Interlock Capital, a founder of Startup San Diego. You'll see my amazing partner in crime as well. Jody Ratke is also a partner and out of cell service today, enjoying the outdoors. And also, we have our third partner in crime, Peter, who you may have seen around here previously as well. I've been a partner at Evolution for a little over a year now. Previously, Jody was my business coach, and now I'm a partner on the team of nearly 45 coaches around the world. We just expanded into Europe. And I remember last May, We were at the Columbia River Gorge for a retreat. That's where our company does retreats, of course, in the outdoors and beautiful settings, non corporate. And Peter approached me about doing chairlift coaching. And so we put that together, started testing it over the winter, was able to meet him and his family up in North Star. So we just have been really building on top of the idea of how to expand our coaching also into the outdoors, into nature, and how to really integrate those pieces into the coaching that we do. All right. Oops, check in. How would you describe your relationship with water? This is a very loaded question. So I want you to stop and pause and think about how you would describe your relationship with water. Now, before I go, I can tell you I have friends and family that are a little bit afraid of it. They never learned how to swim. I have friends and family who grew up competitive swimmers all their lives and spent the majority waking hours of the first half of their lives in the water, everything in between. So how would you describe that? And what's that's like? I want to throw out some ideas and prompts if water hasn't really been a huge part of your life, and just share examples of how I continue to make that a part of my professional and personal development journey. My relationship with water started at a very young age at Pyramid Lake. Fun fact, Lake Tahoe is the only outlet into Pyramid Lake. Beautiful, beautiful lake, almost as large. And I grew up at Pyramid Lake as a toddler, camping and jumping off of my grandpa's fishing boat. So I don't remember, but I was a water baby from a very young age. So I have a very fond, positive memory, I suppose, of the water early on. I can see my partner in crime here also putting in his first memory. Very first memory, Peter says, is from an infant swim class at the YWCA. It's somewhere that I go to for peace and strength. I love that. I love that. Now, later on in my journey, I would describe my relationship with water as it relates to the ocean. When I was living in San Diego, I lived there for 20 years and was just hell bent on learning how to surf because my dad grew up surfing. And I had a few really scary falls with surfing and was sucked under in the ocean. I wouldn't say that I love the ocean. I love the water, don't love the ocean. So again, love going to Lake Tahoe and am fine open water swimming in Lake Tahoe, not so much the ocean. So would love to hear your relationship with water. Now, water activities, right? You'll see this amazing human doing some sort of yoga on their paddleboard. I aspire to do that as I continue to work on my balance with my injured leg. But research from the Blue Health Project indicates that spending time near blue spaces, such as lakes, rivers, and oceans, is associated with lower levels of depression and anxiety. Now, if you're anyone who has the Calm apps or Headspace apps downloaded on your phone, or you fall asleep to a sound maker, I often will put different, water sounds to fall asleep, or if I'm taking a nap or needing to relax. So I'd be curious your experience with how you might incorporate that into your daily lives, even if you don't live near water, right? How is that still a part of your daily practice, I would say? So lakes, rivers, oceans, as I discussed, I'm fine with lakes, but not so much with the ocean, right? It still terrifies me. I can snorkel, but I stopped scuba diving because it just makes me feel claustrophobic, which is a very interesting thing. So being in or near or around water has incredible health benefits, as I'm sure you can imagine. And research has shown that being close to water can reduce stress levels, promote relaxation. And a study by the University of Exeter found that people who live near the coast, report better physical and mental health compared to those who don't. So think of our friends who in the United States live on in California, East Coast, West Coast, near the water, maybe down near in Florida, for example, right? I have friends all over the map. And so that's just really interesting to think about. Now, additionally, the sound of running water, like streams or rivers, can have a massive calming effect on the brain, helping to lower anxiety and improve your mood. So, one of my go to soundscapes on my Calm mobile app is ocean waves, streams or rivers, oftentimes waterfalls that make me think of Yosemite, for example. So, really encourage you if you're landlocked or not near water all the time, is how can you invite that sense of water into your home, even including maybe a fountain, right? That's something I've been experimenting or researching, sorry. I've wanted to like have a fountain in my house somewhere, and I have in the past. So super interesting there. All right. Water activities. So again, involves what I love about it is it can be a social activity. So yesterday when I was able to sneak away from the 100-degree heat here at my home in Reno, Nevada, up to Lake Tahoe where it was 80 degrees. So the alpine water felt fantastic. I was paddleboarding with my husband and my niece, and it's just a fun activity to do with friends, right? So even if you have a kayak or even an inner tube or a blow up raft or a noodle or whatever it is there some way for you to get out into the water to float? Even if it's scary for you, is there a way for you to get to a lake where there's not waves of an ocean, where you can be safe and still floating in the water? There's something just so calming about being able to again spend time in those blue spaces. All right. So we'll dive into some fun and unique stats, right, to kind of get you excited for outdoor activities this summer. So, spending just 20 minutes in nature can significantly reduce cortisol levels, the hormones associated with stress, or that walking in green spaces can improve your attention span and cognitive function, which we've spoken to on previous episodes. I'll be able to link those down below in the comments here. If you're joining us from LinkedIn or YouTube or another streaming service, we'll make sure to attach our previous episodes where we talk about the stats and the research and the science behind spending time in the outdoors, in the forest, and green spaces, even parks for that matter. And today we're talking about water. Another really cool stat is that people who regularly spend time outdoors are 50% more likely to meet their weekly physical activity compared to those who stay indoors. Now, there was a time in my life where I lived in downtown San Diego in the concrete jungle, and we are a one-car family. I didn't really drive anywhere because I could walk to and from the office every day. Well, I am in a totally different working environment, working from home, not in an office. I live in the boondocks. And so I'm constantly trying to find new ways to move my body. And there was something about yesterday being up in Lake Tahoe, right, that is going to allow you to get in more physical activity by just spending time in the outdoors versus feeling like you're stuck inside your house all day long. So, whether you are exploring a new hiking trail, you're having a picnic by the lake, or simply enjoying a walk in the park, all of those activities are not only fun, but just incredibly beneficial for your health. There's a lot of new stats and research coming out about 15 to 20 minutes of walking per day has immense health impact, something so simple. And hopefully we'll start hearing less about a glass of wine a day is so healthy and more about how a 15-minute walk in the outdoors outside can have a tremendous impact on your health. So even for those that might have walking pads or treadmills in their homes inside during the hot summer months, I would really encourage you is, are there ways for you to get outside and do part of the walk in the early morning or the late evening where you're beating the heat? Or can you get yourself to the water where you can cool down and still be active in the outdoors? All right, hydrotherapy. So this is really the use of water for pain relief and treatment. It's been used for centuries. You are starting to see a lot of hydrotherapy and floating type services, right? So I think in Reno, I can find a couple where you go and you'll get immersed in a crazy salt bath and like float therapy and hydrotherapy. Now, what I will say is fantastic about stand-up paddleboarding, where I had a few pictures in here actually. I can show you this one specifically. There's a lot of brands out there that, again, blow up paddle boards are softer, right? There are hard paddle boards, which are more like a surfboard. And I always recommend a blow up paddleboard. They're soft. The other reason I love blow up paddleboards is because you can lay on them and relax or meditate or read or whatever else it is. And so, what I loved about this idea of hydrotherapy and using water for pain relief or treatment, all the way to promoting relaxation, right? There's lots of different ways you can use water for therapy, is floating on your paddleboard. Meditation, listening to music. This is something that I really gravitated towards a few summers ago when I was in an immense stage of grief and really needing just different ways to heal myself. I had lost someone very special to me, and my coach at the time had really encouraged me. It was the summer months to get to water, and I happened to be able to get closer to Tahoe. At the time, I was living in San Diego. And just by getting into the lake, and at the time, I was able to stand up and paddle and get a crazy workout in. But then I started introducing laying on my paddleboard for 10 minutes. And then the next day was 20 minutes. And then pretty soon, I would paddleboard for 30 minutes. And I found myself then laying on my paddleboard for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And it was the most healing experience, meditative and solo, of just floating out there in the water in a safe environment when the lake wasn't rocky and windy and boats and that sort of thing. So, really encourage you to play around with the different ways that you can access a new stream, a new river, regardless of what your relationship with water has been in the past. So, really, again, practical tips for making your summer outdoor activities safe. I know lots of the country are in the midst of heat waves. Always check the weather forecast before heading out. I'm a wilderness first responder certified, so planning your trip is so important. I can't tell you how many countless search and rescues I'm reading about in the Sierras, near and around Mount Whitney, near and around Yosemite, where people, the waterfalls there, the rivers there are, just coming out of winter, and the water is just gushing. So you really have to pay attention to the safety in the outdoors, and don't underestimate how quick the weather can change in those parts of nature, in the mountains and in elevation. So super important to be able to check for the weather forecast before heading out, making sure that you're dressed appropriately, that you're staying hydrated, bringing plenty of water, especially on hot days. It was 100 degrees here at my house before we left. Then we are up in elevation at lake levels, probably around 6,000 or 7,000 feet elevation, which means you need to be drinking extra water and staying hydrated. It's the real deal. Of course, protecting yourself with sunscreen as well. So again, we have talked about just how to interact with the water this summer, right? Getting in and around it, thinking about it in a new way. Whether you've swam in open water or whether you're still getting used to it at the pool, all things are invited. But one of the things as a newer to stand up paddleboarding, I would say probably the last 4 to 5 years. I have a lot of friends in San Diego that have, been doing it to close over a decade when it really started getting popular. But now I think of ways to use my paddleboard in different ways to utilize the healing power of being in and around the water. All right. So, a few other things I want to mention. Please join us every Thursday, the second Thursday of every month at 2 p.m. Pacific. We have opportunities at Evolution for coaching in nature, and coaching with wolves is ongoing. Our senior partner, managing director, Janine Davis, who lives down in the LA area, will do coaching with wolves through a nonprofit that she's connected to down there. So check evolution.team, our website, for those upcoming gatherings. Equine coaching ongoing. We have a few coaches that have been running programs this year and this summer. So again, check evolution.team. And then winter is going to be here before you know it. And we're going to be experimenting with more chairlift coaching, meeting at ski resorts, all the way to snowshoeing. If being out in the winter elements or snow in general is new to you, that might be a great way to dip your toe in and do snowshoeing. We love meeting our clients where they're at based at the level they are with nature and the outdoors. Not everyone is an extreme outdoor athlete, but the outdoors and nature have a tremendous impact when you're talking about integrating the executive and leadership coaching that you're getting, or even your team, and how that can be combined with the outdoors. All right, so what's coming up? What can you be looking forward to? So save the dates, monthly Thrive Outside sessions, again, the second Thursday of each month. On July 11th, surfing and the ocean. We have a few new partners that are living in different parts of the world who are going to share more of their experience. And in August, we're going to invite Janine Davis, who has a beautiful trip to Kenya next month that she's going to be talking about the integration and post of being able to experience what a trip is like in Kenya, Africa on safari. And that is happening in July. So she's going to do just a post session and what that looks like. And if that's something you're interested in doing in the future, whether it's a wolf connection, equine coaching, future trips to Kenya, or anything else related to the outdoors, whether you're level one and thinking, a 1 day hike in the wilderness or around Tahoe is interesting, or you're getting into paddleboarding, we definitely have a team, myself, Jody, Peter, Janine, and others, where we can explore all of those options for you and your teams. All right, so future sessions we're exploring as well. We'll continue to be adding Evolution team members and special guests. Again, we're entering into the prime of summer, so thank you for hanging with me for this solo journey around just diving into summer full force and enjoying and getting around the water, right? Would love to hear from some of you. And then, biggest takeaway from today: what is one new way that you can incorporate water into your daily ritual, your daily habits? I know for me, with my knee injury, I was able to get myself back into a pool a couple days ago and swam laps for the first time in probably 7 years. I'm an avid downhill mountain biker and snowboarder, so swimming has not really been a part of my lineup, so to speak. And when I'm not released for another 9 to 10 months for any type of those sports, I was able to put a pole buoy between my legs, put my goggles and my cap on, be at an outdoor pool, and swim some laps. And there was something so magical about that. So, regardless of where you're at on your journey, let us know what your biggest takeaway is from today as you head out into the summer warm months. And what's your experience with water going to be as it relates for you? All right. Thank you for joining us today. Again, I'm Mel Gordon. You've also will see my partners Jody and Peter around, and join us second Thursday of every month. We've been doing these since last November and excited to have them return next month. All right, everyone, stay cool and hydrated. Thanks so much for being here.